Hi, and welcome to today's Casual Mind podcast. My name is Anna.
And I'm Robert. Enjoy.
Hello again.
Hello.
So, in today's episode, we wanted to discuss games and how each one of them teaches you something while you play it. It's a Casual Mind podcast, and while we did a lot of fun stuff until now, we decided to take it a step further and to see how games affect the mind.
That's a really nice way of putting it. And maybe how the mind affects the games too.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have some games in mind?
We could start with puzzle, as it is a simple game.
So any sort of puzzle.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was thinking that the puzzle is more about concentration and patience. It teaches you how to really sit through the process and find each piece and find the right spot for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think without patience that you can actually complete it.
I think you cannot complete it without being organized also. So if you're not organized enough, you cannot find the pieces, and therefore you start losing patience.
Yes.
So maybe it's a combination between the two. But yeah, does this apply for like regular board puzzles that are like the flat ones, or also the ones that are 3D and the room escape ones ish? That because we have some puzzles, and we have a couple of puzzles that are like 500 pieces. I don't know, what's that, 1000, 2000, the blue one,
1000.
And then we have also some puzzles that come in like a box, or like in some IQ puzzles, and some we also have a Rubik's Cube. And how do you feel about these ones? Do you feel like the same applies for them, even if they are in the same puzzle category, or that they teach you something different?
I think it's the same, but they also teach you to think outside the box, because not all of them are straightforward. You need to think of a different angle in order to sort them. For a regular puzzle, you just know that there's a picture, you need to get to the picture. Here you need to disassemble, assemble, do something that you don't quite actually know how to, you don't know the steps.
I think from all the puzzles that we have, probably the Rubik's Cube is the closest one to an old school puzzle type of game, because you know what you need to end up with. You just need to do the math and do some calculations and move the pieces in a specific order. But the other ones, you don't know what you're going to end up with. For example, the boxes that we have that you need to open to see what's inside them, you don't know how and what you need to do. So you start, as you say, thinking outside the box. So that's a really, really cool part, that the puzzles can be both inside box thinking with structuring and stuff like that, and also outside the box.
Yes.
What other games do you have in mind, or game types?
I was thinking about the 20 questions that we did in the last episode.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Because I think it's not just a simple game.
Should we first introduce the game to the viewers that didn't, to the listeners that didn't?
Yes, I think we should do that.
Okay. Do you want to? Okay. I'll do it. It's fine. 20 questions is a game where, like how we play it at least, we have one person writing down a piece of paper or on a phone or somewhere a specific word that they're thinking, and it doesn't have to be specific, like hydrochloric acid or something like this. It has to be something quite general so that people can find it, such as a door. And then the people that are playing this game, they can either play in teams, or they can gather all of them in one big team, and I have 20 questions to reach end of the game. And throughout these 20 questions, they need to answer the questions in such a way so that they kind of start figuring out what you wrote on the phone or on the piece of paper. And because it's a bit difficult, we decided to add in a hint that they can access at any point during the game. And yeah, I think that's pretty much summing it up. You don't have a time limit or something.
No, I don't think you have, but I know there are some variations of the game where it's not just guessing the word, but also a situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot harder, and you really need to think
start
for
with the word and then move to the situation. But what do you think that this one teaches you? I interrupted you rudely.
I was thinking that it teaches you that in any situation there are I don't want to say wrong questions and right questions, but it kind of is, because if you want to find something faster or to actually get the insight, you need to ask the right questions for it.
Mm-hmm. It also is I think you're right, but I think it's also part, especially if you're playing with a lot more people, part of the game is that you consult with your team players and you figure out a way to go down the right path, and that's how you would form those right questions, because you might think of something and the other player that's playing with you might think of something else, and then you can figure out how to ask the question so that you both get the answer from one single question or something like this.
And also how to formulate the question that will not lead you astray, but will keep you on the right track and not make you lose 5 more
because
questions, for example.
The person that thinks of the word is not allowed to say anything but yes or no. So other than the hint, of course, it's not allowed to say more than yes or no. But yeah, that's an interesting game that maybe we'll play someday soon again, hopefully. What other games do you have in mind? Do you have some more on this topic, or do you want me to say what games I have in mind?
Hey, if you have any games, you can just...
Okay. Yeah, so I was just looking around what games we have, and I was thinking of games such as Activity, which is pretty much a game that teaches you how to express yourself in different types and in different scenarios, because in the game you need to pick a card, and that card defines the difficulty, and then you need to see what you need to do and how you need to express the specific word or couple of words on that card. Whether it's you need to mime it, whether it's that you need to talk about it but not specify the exact word, or draw it, or there was it something? No?
There are 3 ways.
Yeah, and that kind of makes you think, though forces you to think in a way that your team player thinks, because this is the way that they're gonna guess what you're talking about. So you're gonna try to get in your team player's mind and get some connections that you both have in order to make the team player guess what's going on in the card, and this way you move on the board.
And I think it also helps when there is a moment when everyone is allowed to guess, and you want to focus on your team for them to guess. And if you if you need to mime it, and you mime in a different way that only your team gets, you have a lot more chances of
advantage. Yeah. Nice. Then I think Monopoly is pretty straightforward. I think we're not gonna go into that. We also didn't play that much, but it's mainly, as far as I remember and as far as I can tell, it's mainly a game that teaches you how to do right decisions in order to accaparate, to take over, not
And
accaparate,
make some strategies
yeah.
to win.
So it basically teaches you a bit of financial management for your own sake, into buying and selling houses and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then what else do we have?
I think it's poker, chess, this category.
Yeah, this category is a bit different. Because, I mean, I think we should keep chess for a whole other episode, because we can also talk about Queen's Gambit, and we can take that in deeper analysis in a future episode. But if we are to think of poker, yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I was thinking that it teaches you to pay attention to details and to understand your opponent.
And if you get something that's really good, to not show your cards basically with your face expression or your emotions and stuff like this, to keep it for yourself, as it's not gonna necessarily help you in the game.
You need to know how to express yourself in the right way so you win.
Yeah, so it teaches you how to be a bit fake, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily a
also,
good thing, but
it's also math, I think, because you get 2 out of those. I think it's 52. I think it's 54 cards in total in the deck with the jokers. But you get 2 out of those 52 cards. So there's 50 cards left in the deck. And then based on the cards that you have, you can make an assumption of what's your statistics regarding winning, and how good are your odds for winning the round. And then after the first 3 cards appear on the table, then your statistics either grow or lower themselves in.
yeah.
But
Yeah, throughout the game you need to be really attentive to each
To the other
detail
players.
and everything that's happening around you.
yeah. And if you have ADHD, I think that's a really good game to play. Of course, not with real money, unless you're an expert or something like this. But yeah, just casually too.
I don't think it's a good idea to play on money with your friends or family.
Yeah, definitely no. And I don't think you should. I don't think any of these games should become a habit, because it shouldn't. You should just. I don't know if you should, but you shouldn't have it as a habit. That's just my opinion, because once you go down that path, you start going into extremes of
Yeah, I
the
think
game.
these games are either as a social way of expressing yourself, of being in a community, or a way to escape from the reality for a short period of time, as with puzzles.
What other board games do we have? I know we have Ligretto.
Ligretto,
Yeah.
which is a card game which aims for you to get rid of all your cards faster than the other players by putting them on the table in the middle. So it's not you take your turn, then I take mine, you take your
Everybody's
time.
turn
Everyone
is
is playing at the same
whenever
time.
they want, yeah. And it's a whole chaos on the table.
Yeah, you need a big table. Okay, it depends how many people are playing, but I think you can play up to 12.
Yeah, I saw some games that literally filled out a 4-person's table with cards, just because the game is sometimes it takes a long time to finish because you cannot find that one card and then you get stuck at it. But yeah, so what does this game teaches you?
This is I think a reaction game.
Yeah.
So it teaches you how to be really fast and see everything that's happening, and at the same time see what's happening in your hands. But also it teaches you how to create not a routine, but you have your own steps that you're taking, so it's easier for you to be
Teaches
looking
you some
everywhere.
habits that help you win this. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
The
could
way
be.
of
I
keeping
know
the
I always
cards in
lost
your
at this game.
hand, or the way you organize them on the table, it differs
So
from a person
that's
to
why you
person.
beat me at all the rounds we played this game. Okay. And then we also have Exploding Kittens, which is a game that is pretty recent, and I think it was started on Kickstarter or something similar to this, and it was the most founded game on Kickstarter. It was really cool. What I didn't get it, and that has nothing to do with the game itself, that has something to do with the company that makes this game, is why not produce cards that have the same back in different areas of the world.
Yeah.
Because you also need, like, with the base version, I think you can play in up to 4 people, but if you want to play with more people, you need to buy an extra pack, and that extra pack usually has a different back cover to it, and that does not help at all.
I think the extra pack has a standard back, but in
Or the
Europe
other
at
way
least
around, I don't know.
they have a
Um,
different.
But we had this problem, and we contacted them, and they were really prompt and sent us different packs that works with the extension. So they are really prompt at doing this. Maybe it was some fault from their end. But coming back to the game, it's basically a game where each player is dealt a couple of cards. I don't remember, 7, 8, or something like this, and you have basically 2 lives. You have one diffuse card, which is a life, and then if you kind of lose that one, you have only 1 life, and
You need to keep it, because if you get an exploding kitten, then you're out of the game.
And these exploding kittens are put in the pack randomly. It's shuffled, and then if you pick it, then you can defuse it, or if you don't have it, then you're pretty much dead. And then you have some dead cards, and you have some action cards, such as, I don't know, attack, skip a turn, I think, shuffle the deck, see 4 cards into the deck, what's going on, I don't know, pick all the exploding kittens and put them on the top of the deck, so that everybody else is pretty much
I think it was
over
also
with.
something about marking someone's card. So
so someone has to turn a card the other way around, so that we all see what card it is. Also, they had something where you have to put all your cards down, and you need to draw a card, and if you draw an exploding kitten, then you need to find your diffuse. It's like pretty much guess where your diffuse kit is,
and then lose a lot of cards in the process.
But this game teaches you quite a lot, I think. It's quite a strategy game, in my opinion.
Yes, you need to have a really good strategy in order to.
And it has a lot of
win.
rules. We just went through, I don't know, like 10% of the rules maybe. But yeah, you should definitely check it out. I think it's really good because it teaches you. It's also because people can see, for example, if you draw an exploding kitten and then you die, then you have to put that, then you don't die, you defuse it, then you have to put that exploding kitten back into the pack, and then people can see where you put it in the pack, and you can play with their minds and play with their turns by doing different type of actions regarding this. So I think it's pretty good. It also teaches you how to I don't know, realize when to attack, when to.
And it teaches you with time what cards to actually keep and what to use, because there are some cards that you always want to have on hand in case something happens.
Yeah, definitely. But and I think this concludes our game tabletop psychological stuff. I have some more regarding video games, because I think if we're tackling games, you cannot not talk about video games, as it's such a huge part of the industry.
So I think we'll do another one on that topic.
And we're gonna hopefully you'll let us know if you want us to do another one on the game topic. But that would be pretty much it from the casual mind about casual games.
And let us know what is your favorite board games.
Yeah, maybe we can do a session where we call you and we play together in the future, but let's see. Good. Thank you for watching and for listening. As you know, now we have an Instagram page and we have a Facebook page. We upload our podcast on YouTube also. So Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. You can pretty much find us anywhere if you search for Casual Mind. And we appreciate it if you do. So remember to stay with a casual
mind.